Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another video, and this is a special one because we're going to be talking all about the brand new Summoner's Choice voted for champion of 2025, and that is Mr. freaking Knight. So, in this video, we're going to be diving into a bunch of gameplay, really showcasing this guy, pushing him to his pinnacle. I'm going to be showing you guys how to play him, some tips and tricks that I've found, some of his best matchup spreads, and just how I think he's going to be in the overall skill class, and just how he's going to impact the overall arching theme of the game going forward. But before we get into any of that, we got to talk about his abilities a little bit. Now, a lot of times, a new champion comes out and I read their abilities, and it's like, it's not really making sense. This was definitely one of those types of champions. Like, I needed to play him to understand, and then read it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's starting to make sense. Sometimes it didn't even make sense, so I was like almost done recording this video. I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now, Sometimes that happens. So I'm going to save you guys all the trouble of that and just kind of simply explain it. So the Awakened ability here, essentially what this can do is it can turn Mr. Knight into Darkrai. Darkrai is a Pokemon that puts people to sleep, essentially. Now, when he would become Darkrai is in matchups where there are a lot of non-damaging debuffs trying to be applied to Mr. Knight. In a matchup like that, he's going to be putting the opponent to sleep frequently, which is great. So those are kind of his best matchups. Now, this cool thing is that, which I'm unable to show you guys, so we don't have Battlegrounds on the CCP Beta, but in Battlegrounds, he will start the fight with two 10% injury passives, which I'm guessing should also trigger the panic debuff, because here this is the injuries, and at 2 you apply panic for 15 seconds. So theoretically in Battlegrounds he's going to start and the opponent won't be able to evade or miss, which sounds amazing. So just remember, everything you're seeing here in this video will only be better in Battlegrounds, potentially. Alright, and then just some other things to get out of the way. Mr. Knight, he has a bit of an attack cap on the opponent for block damage. It's like 90% what they were at the start of the fight. And then if his dex fails, he gets an unstoppable. When the opponent is asleep, he doesn't idle, he just walks forward. He has a bunch of different moon phases, which again, at this beginning is super confusing, because it's like, well, there's 4 different phases. Like, what does this phase do? What does this phase do? Don't forget about it. Forget about it. There's only one phase that you need to worry yourself with, and that is the full moon. The rest of the phases, think of it as just kind of building up to the full moon. Then once you're in that full moon, boom, your light attacks and special attacks are all guaranteed crits, and they can crit through block, and this is when you just go nuts. And then whenever the moon phase changes, you also gain a light proficiency passive. This is just going to increase the damage of your light attacks exponentially. Like, Mr. Knight is one of the only champions in the game who has bigger light attack hits than medium attack hits. That's not a normal thing. So he also has Tranquilize. So 10% Tranquilize debuff. They last for 15 seconds, max stacks 5. But against any non-mutant, these are going to gain further damage debuffs further reduced by 25% per personal Tranquilize. So I believe that takes each debuff up to 35%, as long as it's non-mutant, and that's for non-damaging debuffs. And there's only champs, champion abilities, and masteries. Then we have Crack the Case. That's the whole injury thing. And so, Mr. Knight, the way to build these up is just by, punishing the opponent's heavy or special attack. You build one. Now, if you do it with a light attack specifically, then you build 2. But, don't, stress yourself out so much trying to play that way. Some matchups, it's going to be very difficult to get those light attacks in, and you can totally disregard that. You don't have to play Mr. Knight that way, which is something once I realized, I was like, oh, I love that. I don't have to go for these light attacks. Your ramp's going to be cut in half, but that's okay. That's okay in some matchups, that's all right. And so yeah, at 2 of these, you get the panic debuff, which is really good. At 1, you refresh 2 personal light proficiency passives. And at 4, 1 personal tranquilize. Against non-champions triggers at 3 or more injuries instead. And then at 5, you apply a reckless debuff, which I believe is new, and that just makes the opponent more inclined to throw their heavy attack. And speaking about the opponent throwing their heavy attack, that's something that Mr. Knight kind of introduces to the game now. A skill, a very rare skill, that I've actually been working on for years, for 8 years I've been working on this skill, and it's quite refined now, where I'll even be able to showcase it to you in this video. What is that skill? That skill is the art of baiting out heavy attacks without taking block damage. Now, Mr. Knight's really one of the first champions where that's actually really important to his main play style, which is really cool, and why I think he really fits the skill class just perfectly. So let's talk about his special attacks now. So the final 2 hits grants 2 light proficiency passives. So the special one is really powerful just to build up those light proficiency passives. You probably want to be throwing at least 1 special one per fight just to build 2 of those up. That's huge. And then if the moon phase change during this attack, the final hit inflicts a sleep passive for 3 seconds. So if you kind of line it up with that, you can get a sleep passive cooking up 2. And then on special 2, on activation, the next time full moon activates, or if it's already active, pause it and all personal light proficiency passives for 12 seconds. So the special 2s were pretty good too, being able to pause, you in your best state and pauses your light proficiency passives. That's great. So you can really throw either the special 1 or special 2 in a fight. They're both a pretty good idea to throw, and neither one is like that important to his main attacking loop, if that makes sense. It helps his loop, but like even if he wasn't able to throw specials, like I feel like he'd still do fine, if that makes sense. And then the special 3 is a non-stacking regen buff, restoring 1% of max health over 9 seconds. This regen is very, very, very tiny. And the potency is increased by 150% well below 50% health. This refresh when the moon phase changes or a personal injury is inflicted. So you're kind of able to keep this regen up for a really long time. But it's such a tiny regen, man. It doesn't really feel the greatest. But alright, that's Mr. Knight. That's all of his abilities. I hope you guys have a bit of a better understanding after I explain some things. Because again, for me, it took me a while to actually learn the kit. But after I did enough fights, it really started to make sense. So let's jump in here and fight Winter Soldier. And I really want to just kind of showcase to you how powerful the special one can be. So let's do this first fight without throwing a special one, and then I'll do the next fight with multiple special ones just to contrast. So let's just start by baiting a heavy attack out here. That was terrible. Come on, man. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we're gonna bait a special now, and then if we punish this special... Okay, well, I was gonna try to That's okay, that's okay. Alright, so right there you see that sped up the cooldown on the injury. So we're at 4 right now, which is honestly kind of low. It's alright though. So boom, we throw a special 2. Instead of the special 1. So we only have 3 light proficiency passives right now. And you see we're hitting for almost 20k on our light attack. Almost 20k. Which, isn't bad. It's surely not bad. But we can hit for way more than that. So that was a really bad slow fight. It was a really poor start. That's fine. I just wanted to show you guys kind of like what the damage looks like without the special 1, right? So we didn't even break 20k in that first fight, all right? This time, we're going to throw, like, maybe 2 special ones, and you can see the difference. I really wish, like, light intercepting with this guy did something. It does nothing for him. It'd be nice if it did. Alright, so we kind of do want to be baiting specials, just so we can further reduce the cooldown. But it's okay. During the special 1, our cooldown expired. So boom, there's another light attack. Alright, boom. Throw this. So this is going to pump us up to 6. That's our max. And now here we're about to enter the full moon. So watch this. Boom. 32,000. We're hitting 32,000 light attacks now. So that's the difference. That throwing the special 1. That's a very big difference, man. Those light proficiency passives are ridiculous. So, yeah, just really wanted to highlight that. All right, now let's go jump to the rest of my awesome gameplay on the CCP Beta testing map. All right, guys, so just something to bear in mind before we get into the gameplay is I feel like now, after having recorded all the gameplay and being at the point I am now, recording and making this video, I feel like just in the time of doing the fights, like my understanding and Mr. Knight gameplay has just slowly been getting better. So some of the more earlier fights might not be the cleanest, let's say, but I was definitely still learning during some of these recordings. So the way I kind of just taught myself Mr. Knight was I just kind of threw myself into the fire pit. I just, without any reading of his abilities, without really rewatching the deep dive or anything, without really fighting Winter Soldier, I just jumped straight into the testing map and started fighting Photon. Just straight into the fire with Photon Man, and I wanted to see, like, you know, how good I could get this matchup down. And I first tried it as a Sig level 1, and I was getting the matchup down pretty reliably, and it wasn't too bad once I started to learn. But then I took up his signature level, and it made such a massive difference. Like here in this fight, you know, I probably should have thrown a special 1, but I didn't throw any special 1s. We still take her down though in like 46 seconds, I think it was. Yeah, 46 seconds. And that was without throwing a special 1. So throwing a special 1 there might have been a good idea. Could have helped speed things up a little bit. But, you know, not bad. Certainly not bad. And with the Awaken ability, we're doing the opposite of being awake, and that's putting Photon to sleep. You see, we triggered that sleep passive multiple times in that under a minute fight, which is really nice. So now we're going to jump to the next Photon. This one has like 600,000 health. The first one was like a rank 4 Photon. This is essentially like a rank 5 Photon. So this is Mr. Knight punching up. Alright. So start the fight. I like to parry a couple times, build up the tranks so that Photon's not applying her debuffs to me. And then also hit into her miss. And then, you know, once we get the panic debuff cooking up, we can just freely parry Photon and combo her. So here we have the sleep, but the cooldown was active, so hitting into the sleep is not going to give us the injury. But there we beta heavy, and, you know, immediately we get 2 injuries, so it's fine. Again, here the sleep, that's just going to reduce the cooldown, essentially. But then here, again, she throws the heavy, so we punish with a light, so that's great. Here, again, she's about to go to sleep. In a second here. Just so many sleeps, dude. That's why I call this guy Darkrai, because we just keep on putting the opponent to sleep. Here, we put her to sleep, but I'm mid-combo. I'm not even really worried about it. And boom. She's dead. Photon's dead. Punching up. So that's 2 Photon fights back-to-back. You know, my biggest worry with Mr. Knight was that he was just going to have to take a buttload of block damage, you know? That's 2 Photon fights in a row without any type of healing, and we're finishing above 90%. So, again, like, I don't think this champ's for everyone, but once you kind of understand his nuances and put in the time, like, I still need to put in more time. I think I could get him to a level where I'm finishing these Photon fights and I'm finishing above, like, 95% health. Like, there's certainly way more room for me to grow as a Mr. Knight player. Like, I love the skill expression with this guy. It feels really good. He feels very fitting in the skill class. And it's not as bad as I was worried about after seeing the deep dives, you know, because you can totally just not even worry about baiting out heavies and taking block damage. The fight's just going to be slower. But that playstyle is available, and if you play really skilled, you know, you can find a way to ramp fast and reduce your block damage with the art of baiting heavies, which, again, I got 2 specific fights later on in this video. It's a Scorpion and Bullseye, where I really showcase the art of baiting out heavy attacks. That might warrant its own dedicated video. That's the type of video I've wanted to make for a long time. Same with, like, an intercepting guide. Such a daunting task. I never really have gotten around to it. But I think it would be a great video. But, yeah, again, here against Jessica, it probably would have been a better idea to throw some special 1s instead of going for the special 2 here. Again, in the more learning of my journey with Mr. Knight, I wasn't throwing the special 1 right away early on. But even without doing so, you can see we're still hitting really hard, man. And this Jessica is dead. Just barely. But she's dead. So that's rank 4 Mr. Knight, rank 4 Jessica Jones, dead under a minute. Not terrible. He's definitely not the best Jessica Jones counter out there, but he's a pretty solid one. Pretty decent. Alright, next up, I wanted to see how Mr. Knight fares against some of the newly buffed defenders, specifically in the science class. So that's 2 champions. It's MCOC and Rhino. So up first we have MCOC. You can see his heavy attack is so long that I don't really think I'm going to be able, me personally, maybe it's doable, but I'm not going to be able to do it. And that is punishing his heavy attack with a light. It's just, this is one of those matchups where it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to worry about it. So this is a matchup where you really can't play Mr. Knight the way you want to with those light attacks. And it's fine. Again, here probably should have been going for the special one. But there we trigger the auto block. And yeah, we're still, you know, gaining our injuries slowly. But surely we're at 3 of them. But, you know, you can totally still build them, even if you can't go for the light attacks. So that's what we're doing. Boom, bait the heavy. There's a free injury. Now we're in the moon phase. We drop the relic into a heavy, and then into a parry, into light attacks, and then special. And that's MCOC down. So he did a fairly good job against MCOC there. Not the best, not the worst. Took about a minute. Alright, what about Rhino? Now, I haven't really had a chance to fight Rhino too much. Outside of like the new Elder EQ, I think it was. I was fighting him in there, and he was pretty annoying, dude. He was pretty freaking annoying. So I was really curious how Mr. Knight was going to do. So, you know, we are applying some of those tranquilizers, and we are absolutely putting Rhino to sleep. We are channeling our inner Darkrai here again because we're preventing so many debuffs. So here, he triggered the Unstoppable on the special one, so I just kind of threw my special one to kind of try to save myself from getting hit, but I still got hit. But some of his debuffs are slipping through, and that's just going to be, you know, some free willpower healing. So here I'm trying to bait this before the sleep triggers, but the sleep triggered, so it's fine. Alright, we're going to bait this. Alright, and then we're just going to punish with a medium, it's fine. And then here, we are hitting decently hard 19Ks. Again, I should have been weaving in some of the special ones into these fights so that our lights hit even harder. But again, even without those super hard hitting lights, they're still going down pretty quick, and the lights are still doing some solid damage. You know, 20k crit, 56 seconds. Again, definitely could have probably got that down, but it's not bad. All right, up next, we're going to be fighting the first ever, believe it or not, 5 out of 5 defender, and that is Spot. I didn't even know that. But yeah, defender rating has grown a little bit since Spot was rated a 5 out of 5, you know? But yeah, so Mr. Knight is pretty solid against Spot. You know, nothing like too incredible, but a pretty solid counter for sure. So here I punched the special one, so his spots are on cooldown. Alright. Bait another special one here. He's only at 2 of his spots. Alright, boom, put it on cooldown again. Nice. And then here we're going to drop the special 2 right before we go into the full moon phase, and then it's going to be nice and paused. Alright, and then we're going to have guaranteed crits. So boom, we're going to trigger the untouchable right before we get into this new phase. And then boom, now it is go time. And you can see 20k crits all across the board. And Spot is dead with a little bit of lag at the end there. That was weird. But yeah, 52 seconds. Again, I feel like if I was throwing special ones in these fights, we could shave off a fair bit of time. So that was why I really wanted to highlight the difference in that Winter Soldier fight, so you guys know. I did not realize just how important that special one was earlier on in my testing and my quest for seeing how many matchups he could take. So one matchup that he definitely cannot take is Immortal Abomination, and that's because I don't believe Tranquilize works against damaging debuffs. It's only non-damaging debuffs. So yeah, you're just gonna get poisoned into oblivion against I-Bomb, and I know that because I tried it. Yeah, totally does not work. Alright, another special 2. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. What was I talking about? I-Bomb? Yeah, do not bring this guy against I-Bomb. Alright, that's Void down in, what, 51 seconds, I think it was? Yeah, not too bad. Alright, up next we have Thing, one of the OG Science Defenders. So, its thing, you know, nothing really too special with Mr. Knight. It's just watch the rock stacks. That's about it. That's really about it, man. Yeah, I don't think I triggered the protection like from doing too much damage at all in this fight. So maybe it was a good thing that I didn't get too many of the light proficiencies up. That might have made us trigger the protection. But everything's going really great at this point. We built 6 injuries already. And then here, we're going to push him to 15 rock stacks. We're going to bait this out, and then we're going to have an easy light here. Boom, so that's 8. 8 injury stacks. I don't know if I've gotten that many on most of these fights. Definitely not on most of them. And so boom, now we are in the full moon. So now we just kind of want to go stupid. So here, get him to 14. One more hit right there, 15. All right, boom. And yeah, now it's just do damage. Light. And boom, he's dead. Those like 2 combos of light attacks did about 160,000 damage. Because we're hitting at least 20k per light. 4 lights, 2 combos. That's a lot of damage on just light attacks. Okay, so now here we get to Scorpion. So this is the fight I was alluding to, where the art of baiting heavies without having contact. So here I touch him a couple times, boom, bait the heavy. Touch him a couple times, boom, he throws the heavy. Touch him a couple times, turtle up, he throws the heavy. That was 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. Boom, there's another one. So it's a very hard skill to describe. But it's just from years of playing the game and just kind of knowing how the AI thinks and works, and just kind of knowing when they're likely to throw a heavy. And sometimes all it takes is just a halting of a combo and a little block. And it's not guaranteed that they're always going to be throwing their heavies for you. Sometimes some blocked hits are required. The AI can be stubborn, but man, it is quite a unique skill to pair with a champion like Mr. Knight. So yeah, there's Scorpion down 45 seconds. I just kind of wanted to showcase all of the heavy baits in that fight, you know, without making contact. All right, up next we have I have 2 skill treats for you guys. The first one is Lumatrix. So Lumatrix is one of my least favorite champions to fight in the entirety of the game. I don't like him, man. But Mr. Knight is actually a pretty solid counter. So that's the key thing right there. You need to get in one quick missed hit, which I didn't do it correctly there. I got a little lucky and it worked. But you can totally do it without getting punished. That's all you need to do. Get that one hit, and then boom. Now when we do it again, we're going to be applying the panic. And something to keep in mind that in Battlegrounds, this shouldn't even be a problem because you start with injuries. So it should be even easier in Battlegrounds. But even in a place where we don't start with that advantage here, it works against Lumatrix. Totally can work. So boom, now we've switched modes. So I just want to go stupid. Full combo into the relic, into another full combo, and boom, dude. There's Lumatrix. Cooked. Rank 4 Lumatrix. Freaking cooked. 50 seconds. Again, in Battleground, that's going to be even better. It's going to be even faster. And it's going to be even safer. Because you're going to start with, I think you're going to start with the panic. So in Battlegrounds, you'd actually probably be fine to even, if he does start with panic, you'd be able to bait out a heavy potentially. But no, would you get stunned? The stun passive, I don't know. But you definitely can work for Lumatrix. Absolutely, for certain. In war, he can totally work for him. Yeah, the thing is just building up that first injury. You can build up that first injury, you're fine. Alright, the next skill treat I have for you guys is Bullseye. So, you know, I was thinking, like, with the panic, can this guy do Bullseye? So, like, my first four attempts did not go very well. I think out of the first 4 attempts, I killed him, like, 1 time, but I finished the fight with, like, 20-30% health, you know? Didn't go very well. So here, boom, we're practicing again the art of baiting heavies without getting touched. So here, it's a little trickier against Bullseye, and I mean, it's a lot more punishing if he touches my block, but boom, right there. You can see, man. He did it 3 times. Baited 3 heavies out without, there's 4. 4 heavies out without taking a single lick of block damage. So that type of playstyle, I think, is going to start to get a little bit more popular because of Mr. Knight. Right there, boom, again. Get that get the panic debuff up so we know that he cannot evade. Boom, drop a little special 2 action. Then here, my panic is about to expire, so I need to beta heavy. So here, I took a bunch of block damage just because I needed the panic in that moment to end the fight. So the fight was going so good. Like, before I took that block damage, what was I at? We were at 91. At this point right here, we're at 91%. If I could have just baited one more heavy without taking a blocked hit, man, it would have been pristine. But it's definitely trickier when the opponent has a bar of power or 2 bars of power and you don't want them to throw it. That definitely complicates the strategy a little bit. But yeah, he can. He can take bullseye. So that impressed me. That impressed me, dude. Alright. The final treat that I have for you guys for this video is I think my favorite matchup with him, and that is Spider-Woman. I think it's one of his best matchups. It's just one of the most, meta important matchups because I've shown you guys he can do Photon. He can totally do Photon. But what about Spider-Woman? So yeah, he can totally do Spider-Woman. I found it pretty tricky to get the light counters on her heavy, but it's super duper easy to get a light counter on her special 2. So you're going to see that here. Unfortunately, the injury was still on cooldown, so I didn't get the double injuries for it, but it's okay. You can see because we threw that special 1, we are just hitting like a freaking freight train here, dude. Special 1 is totally the play. And boom, that time though, I did get an easy light punish, and she's cooked, dude. That's Spider-Woman easily cooked with full health in, what was that, 49? 46 seconds, dude. That is freaking sweet. That is freaking sweet. Oh man, that is awesome. Oh, I skipped ahead. My bad, guys. We got another. We're gonna be running the full Spider-Woman gauntlet. We're gonna fight all 3 of them. So up next, imagine this is like a rank 5 Spider-Woman. So Mr. Knight, punching up about 1 rank. This is what that should kind of look like. And then the final Spider-Woman is kind of like a war boss level Spider-Woman that Mr. Knight would be punching up against. So here we have 1 injury built. Alright, we're going to punish the heavy just to speed up the cooldown. Now we bait this, punish with a light, and boom, there's an additional 2 injuries built up. Alright, we have the sleep passive on her at 125, just kind of dormant right now. Everything's going pretty good. Throw the special 2. Probably should have went for the special 1, but it's all good. So right there, I didn't get the injuries on punching the special 2, but she got put to sleep right after the special 2, so we used the light on that, and that did give us the injuries. Boom. Right there, I think we just got another 2 injuries because she was asleep. And then right there, that heavy, man, that heavy, I swear, it came out of nowhere. Totally clocked me. We took some damage, but that's okay. It's okay. Still finished that fight in about a minute, a little over a minute. But still pretty good. All right, then we have the big bad Spider-Woman, almost 1.4 million health. Again, think of this as like a war boss, and we're going at 80%. So I was thinking, like maybe I'll go for the special 3 here to get the regen buff and just kind of heal some of that chip damage. But that's not going to be needed. It's not going to be needed at all here because Spider-Woman's debuffs are just going to be healing us up actually. So against Spider-Woman, we need to be careful. If we don't have, I think right here, is she going to evade? No, she doesn't, but she could have because I didn't have the panic up. So yeah, if you're ever fighting Spider-Woman with Mr. Knight and you don't have the panic up, be very careful. Be very, very careful. So like here, I was close to my special 3, and then I realized, like, wait, I have full health. There's no need for that. So right there, I believe what happened right there was she actually failed my ability because the injury is not on cooldown here. I punished with a light. I punished a special period. Our injuries didn't move. So I think because I'm ensnared right now, she turned off my ability accuracy to gain an injury. And right there, I only gained 1. Wait, hold on. So right here, the sleep triggers. She's asleep. I think that was a light. I don't know. I don't know. It might have been a medium. But yeah, I think the ensnare is definitely screwing with some things on this fight, which I mean is expected. That's what Spider-Woman does, dude. And right there, boom, I didn't have the panic up, so she evaded me. Gotta be very, very careful about that. And yeah, I definitely should have been throwing some special ones in this fight, 100%. I should be throwing one literally right here. Right here, throw a special one. But I'm not, because I'm still not fully understanding Mr. Knight's abilities at this point in playing him. But now I'm recording this video, I'm like, I see all the things like, oh, I could do that better, I could do that better. And the thing is, it's like, I still got incredible results playing suboptimally. So I can improve my playstyle with these tweaks, and I can get even better results out of this guy when I'm already pretty impressed. Like that, I like that. I like that a lot. So, boom, she's almost dead. We have fallen out of the full moon, though. So, boom is dropping another special, too. I should be spamming those special ones, but it's all good. More light attack spammage here, and she's dead. So, boom, we just ran the full Spider-Woman gauntlet in under, what was that, 2, 3, in under 4 minutes. And we finished with full yellow bar. Full freaking health. And I figure we're going to do one more photon fight, because why not? You know, I just cleared the Spider-Man gauntlet. I was feeling good. I was like, let's go pull up on photon 2 right now. See what we got. So boom, she throws a heavy right at the start of the fight. I didn't go for my typical parrying at the start. But I realized that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should get some parries off, so go for that. And then here, she actually ends up going to sleep right in front of me. So boom, we punish that with a light. So we're chilling at 4 injuries right now. Everything is going perfect. Boom, put her to sleep again. That's 6 injuries. Throw the special 2. Again, we should have thrown probably the special 1, but it's fine. And yeah, she literally goes to sleep again. And at this point, I was like, should I just go for it? And I was like, yeah. So here I just go for it, man. Full send. Apologies for the lag. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, there's Photon cooked. 97% health finish. Not bad. You know, it's not bad. 46 seconds. It's not terrible. It's decent. It's pretty good. So, boom. That's all the gameplay I have for you guys for today when it comes to Mr. Knight. And yeah, I was very, very weary of this champion at first, when I first saw the gameplay and everything. After playing him, dude, the more I play him, the more I watch gameplay of him, the more I like him, the more fun I have. I really like this guy. I think the kit is very weirdly made, but also very well made, if that makes sense. It's very he's a very obscure champion, and the way he plays is very weird and different, but that's not a bad thing. And once you build him up, man, he hits so stupidly hard. Like those light attacks, man, there's just so much damage. It's great. The utility is pretty great. I definitely don't think he's like the new best skill champion in the game or anything like that. But could he crack the top 5? Potentially. As an attacker, potentially. I think he has a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of room for skill expression and skill interpretation when playing the champion, which I really love. So yeah, I think he's going to age quite well. I think it's kind of going to be like a bit of a Tigra situation where the champion, requires some matchup knowledge and practice and, kind of technical play. But if you can master that, well, you can take him to new lengths. So my hopes are pretty high for Mr. Knight. And yeah, man, he really did start to grow on me. So yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video on Mr. Knight. Of course, there is my creator code LAG. If you guys are ever making a purchase on the web store and want to support me, you can go ahead and type that in, all lowercase LAG. But yeah, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know who you think is better from what you've seen so far, Silver Samurai or Mr. Knight. Let me know in the comments down below. For me personally, I'm actually on team Mr. Knight. I think Silver Samurai is a ton of fun and really cool, but Mr. Knight just has way more utility, and he has a lot of damage too. So it's not like he's slacking in that department. So yeah, I'm Team Mr. Knight actually. And I really did like Silver Samurai. So let me know what you guys think. Very excited to read the comments on this one. Have a great, wonderful day.